suggesting, by the way, that we should lumber ourselves with 100 years worth of debt. But the point I'm making is that a small, independent, rich, wealthy state on the periphery of Europe, here we go again, can actually persuade the world to lend it money for 100 years. I wonder if we can persuade people to lend us money for 100 days. And the last quick thought is on taxation. We do not know how much taxation is actually paid by the people of Wales, and that is absolutely basic, absolutely basic. But you know, we could look as well as funding outside borrowing. I mean, quite clearly, we do raise probably near enough tax to pay for things that we use. But there are other forms of taxation. There is no reason, for example, why we should not. I remember somebody make a bit of a joke at this, one of the things I did on Click on Wales, when I suggested, for example, some form of tourist tax. Now, Roy Jones, bless him, was written on his business of a tourist tax. Do you know we're the only country in the world which allegedly, and this little bit you say, has a thriving tourist industry, and yet there is no tourist tax. I'm taking my darling wife to northern Italy over Easter weekend. We're going to Florence. It's a long-standing promise. And I was having a look in the little guidebook this morning, and on page 28 or whatever it was, there's a note saying, oh, by the way, there's a tourist tax. Oh, okay. You know, everywhere I've been in the world, for God's sake, there's a tourist tax. I forget, I was at the first Yes meet that I went to, and I forget there was somebody mentioned it. If you really, the other thing, I'll finish on this quickly. One of the things I remember in the 60s, apart from being told that we were poor, was I remember standing in the election in 1974, and I remember Mercer, the Tory candidate, it was debated. Oh, he said, I expect you're going to mention water. Well, I am. Well, you know, yeah, let's have a good laugh. If you're going to get it, nobody knows what water would likely to be useful just in terms of taxation for the Welsh Treasury. But we know now, because Severn Trent, bless them, you know, the Tories sometimes have been good to us. So they privatised water. And Severn Trent published annual accounts in accordance with the Companies Act, etc. And last year their turnover, that is to say the amount of money they took in from people paying for their water, not all from Mid Wales, I hasten to add in all fairness to this, was £1.5 billion. Now there are all kinds of numbers being knocked about what water is worth, but we can quite reasonably expect that water sold right to your friends in England, we don't, let's turn it off, that'd be much more fun, it would be worth somewhere in the region of £1 billion. Now you can have an awful lot of nurses and doctors for £1 billion. Last thought, and I'll sit down now. There's a little handout here. You're very welcome to look at. There's a little more detail on it. Please have a quick read. I have ended with something that was mentioned in there, and I will, if I may, repeat it. There is this nonsense talked about business in Wales. I remember as a boy, I remember going to a family do, what am I, 14, 15, and I'm going to change the world. And I remember saying, Uncle Johnny, poor bugger's gone now. And I said to them, don't forget, he said, in the next election, I said, you must vote for Plaid Cymru. And I remember Uncle Johnny saying, yeah, he said, well, what about all these English businesses? Well, he was right, of course, they're all gone anyway, haven't they? You know? But the point is there is this argument all the time about, they'll all pack their bags and leave. Well, of course they're going to all pack their bags and leave. Look at the DVLA. 18 floors of very clever people, very sophisticated computer systems, providing services all over the world. The Royal Mint is producing coins, most of which are used throughout Europe. Of course they're going to pack their bags and go. Are they? Are they really going to pack their bags and go? Of course not. And I think we need to bury this once and for all. Anyway, that's about it. That's a quick word. I think I had 20 run off. Please have a look at it. I'll be happy to take some questions later. The point I'm making is this, if I may summarise. Don't be afraid of the arguments. We are not poor. We do raise tax. We don't know how. Throw it back at them. Tell us how much tax we actually earn. Let's do it. Let's find out how much tax we earn. Let's be honest that there's a budget deficit. Let's be honest that we need to fund it. Let's be honest that is nothing madness about an independent separate currency. Go to Slovakia and use their growth or whatever it is. Ask them about an independent currency. Don't be afraid to face these arguments. Diolch yn fawr am gwrando.